But have you came across that? Dan always talks about it in here, but setting. Do you understand that we're holding space? Yeah. You get what it is.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most crucial parts of holding space. You know, because, like, I mean, listen. I mean, if you're in the gaff, it's broad daylight and it's crazy bright out, sun shining in, and I don't know, it's commotion outside. It's not set.
Yeah.
You know, like the main thing is to set the space. You know, and like, I've been hosting outdoor spaces, but I mean, when it's in my gaff, it's curtains closed, it's incense, it's relaxing. It's like that diffuser over there. You know, you want to walk into a room and instantly, wow, it's really like one of the best things that, let's say, the biggest compliment when people come in is like straight away, like some people get hit with it's like, whoa, this is a lovely setup. I'm like, class, because now I know that it's chilled out for them, it's relaxed. So, it's everything, because you want to be relaxed going into the space. You know, you want to feel safe, you want to feel comfort.
Yes.
To get deeper into whatever it is, whether it's a conversation, breathwork, whatever it is.
Sense of ease attached to it. But what I love what you've done, you've set it up with intention to be that way. You've set it up for the room to make people feel at ease, because when they come in, the depths you can get to. The same way when you had that yoga studio set up for your most recent, the one you did with Josh. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that was a perfect setting. Like just pillows on the floor, all matted out. Everyone comes in.
That's it. Yeah.
Just this.
100%.
Breathe easy, man.
Yeah.
Setting. I think it is very important. And maybe like you noticed when you walked in here this evening.
The second I came in, I was like, whoa. Yeah. Just chill out a second.
Chill out.
You know?
Nice
came
music.
in high energy bouncing, and I was like, whoa. I was like, that's.
But then you get the energy back. You feel comfort now, and then the energy can rise back up. Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about this so much. Like, everything's energy. It's all energy. I think Tesla said it. Like, the whole world operates from energy, frequency, and vibration. It's so true. It's so true. Everything's energy. Like, I feel your energy, you feel my energy. That's why we've connected, man.
100%.
And I've had to become so aware of it now in life, because people can be either one of two things. They can be anchors or engines. Anchors weigh you down. Engines give you life. It's like, oh, this guy's giving me fuel. Why wouldn't I want to be around him? It's fucking great crack. You know what I mean? But that's you have that because you worked on yourself as well, man.
Yeah, but it's the same with yourself, right? So when every voice message that you set up, it's like, anybody, what's the story? Man, that actually gives me like so much joy head to toe. Even if I've had a fantastic day, I get more of a boost off. What? Like, it's infectious, you know. And energy is infectious, you know. Like, and you notice it when people walk into the room. You know, if the energy, like, we are humans, like we are animals of instinct. Yeah. If someone walks into the room and their energy's low, you can feel that. If their energy's high, all right, what's happening? You know, you can feel that as well. So I guess when it's the two of us, it seems to be high energy, just bouncing off each other.
I love that, because I read something recently. I love going down rabbit holes on Twitter, but they're talking about the world belongs to those of high energy. If you've got high energy, you're going to have a high output in life, and people are just naturally drawn to you. Like you said, you high energy people tend to be enthusiastic, you know, wanting to go out and get things in life, want to do things, want to connect with people. It's like, why wouldn't you want to have a reservoir of great energy? And then when you feel it, give it away to other people. And just being enthusiastic. Like, I think them voice notes that I send, I get a lot of compliments on them, but I am genuine in the sense that, like, I want to connect with you. Like, for me, connection is so deep. So how can I make you feel more connected with me by maybe saying it in a certain way? I'm not trying to manipulate it necessarily, but it's like, I just want you to feel connected the way you make me feel.
Of course.
And it's back and forth, man.
It's energy. It's high energy.
High energy.
It's leaving the room better than the way you found it. Do you know what I mean? It's the same. Entering that voice message, how can I make his buzz a little bit better? Yeah. I do the exact same. Like, on my voice messages when I'm sending it to the lads, like, I could say something quite normal, and then at the end I'll just start screaming. I'll just be like, yeah, come on. Just like something like, yeah, he might find this gas. Get the fuck up. And then at the end you get a lot of ha-has. You're playing mad thing. It's like, well, I'm happy that you actually got a lot of ha-has out of that. You know what I mean? In that moment, what the, that's gas. Like, that's what it's for, you know? Bringing the energy.
Brightening up people's day. And I think another great thing you said there is, well, man, we're intuitive. All humans are intuitive beings. Before your brain can rationally think about something, it knows, it viscerally feels it in your body. That's what, and it creates emotion. So someone walks in, you can feel their energy. Feel like nothing needs to be said. I just feel how you feel about yourself. That's why looking after yourself, taking care of yourself is so important, because other people are going to feel that off you.
100%.
But it's all about expressing emotion. I mean, I'm a big man at the moment. because I'm falling in love again. But actually, even before I was falling in love, I became aware of the whole concept of love and loving yourself and giving love to the world. Then, because when your cup is full, spread it, give it away. The most important thing in life is to give it all away, because it makes us feel good as well. But that only comes from a place of working yourself and developing your energy as well.
What you just said there, giving it all away, that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. It's like, yeah, do all this work on yourself, but if you keep it for yourself, that's where you're going to become a bit like, oh, no, man, this is like, give it out. Give it out. Like, pass that shit on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fill your cup up. And what you've just said there is absolutely fantastic as well in terms of loving yourself to then love somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't be sitting around eating spice bags all day and then preaching somebody about getting a six-pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can't. But like, it's like you got to go get that six-pack to tell someone how to do it. If you want to love somebody, you've got to love yourself first. You know, you got to turn it inward before you start giving it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same with advice, which is spice packs, the six-pack. But it's the same principle. You got to. It's in here. Has to be full in order for it to actually get like for it to be reciprocated.
Yeah. Dead right, man. Dead right. And the thing is, well, the most important relationship you will have in your life is the one you have with yourself,
all day long,
because that's what emanates out of what happens with all the other relationships. If your relationship with yourself is off, it's going to be off for your partner, it's going to be off for your family, it's going to be off for your friends. But when that relationship you have with yourself is just blossoming and growing, and you're developing yourself, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're eating the right foods, and you're hitting the sauna, you're hitting the ice bath, you're making progress in life, and you're striving towards something. And people are like, he's a shining light, I want to be around him. And you want to be around them as well. And like you said, the whole point of this life, man, is fucking give it all away. Give it all away. What you've been doing, man, with the breathwork events, you're giving back. Giving back to so many people, and you've all these people coming up complimenting you, man. It's fucking powerful. Genuinely powerful. And man, I'm so grateful for, I've attended 2 of your events, man, and they have moved me. No word of a lie, man. I've walked out there. I've done breathwork for quite a while. But when someone else holds the space and directs you and guides you and gives you cues, man, the realms, like you're going to another planet altogether. Yeah,
when you can just kick back and relax and let someone just guide it. Because when you're doing it by yourself, it's the best gift I've ever received, being held in a space. And it's something that I've spoken about with the people that have guided me in the spaces about transitioning into it and like how I'm going to do it and like what my intention is behind it. And it's always, that gift is too good for me to keep. As we were saying earlier, I gotta give it back. That's what drives me. It's like, this is so good and it's worked so much for me. And if you come in and you enjoy it, happy days. If you come in and you don't enjoy it, happy days. It's not for everybody, you know. It'll come to people, it might not come to people. But for me, I just want to give it back because of so much that I've learned from it and so much that I've grown so much from it, you know. So when you're coming into that space, it's from a space of me just having some serious experiences with it, and I just hope someone can even just like stop that chatter in their head for 5 seconds. They don't have to have this whole mystical experience, out of body experience. Oh my God, wow, that was unbelievable. Just a place to just chill out and relax and just center yourself for even 5 seconds. Happy days. Because some people don't even get 5 seconds throughout the day because their brains are racing. They're so busy. They've got all this stuff, kids, brothers, sisters, family, all this commotion going on. That's what that space is for, to just relax and just forget about it all for 5 seconds. If you can do it for 10, happy days. Even a minute, lovely. And then it just builds up. But the more you do it, the more you actually get over it then, you know, going forward.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. Tell me, though, what was your own journey into the breath? How did that come about? Was it attending an event, or how does that actually look? Because you've been doing a number of years now, is that right?
I've been meditating since 18. Okay, so probably 8 years all in.
Interesting. How did you get into it when you're 18?
Right, so how I got into it is... Right, so the way I got into it was I was in a dark place from about 16 to 19 or 20, right?
Okay,
like really dark place, okay? One of my friends on my football team, he passed away, sent me just sour at 16 years of age, and I was just a wreck. And one of the things that I used to actually do...
Sense to me now.
This is...
Shitemi, was it?
Yeah, Shitemi, yeah.
He's from Donabay.
Yeah, he is, yeah. So he passed away at 16, right? And that completely flipped my world upside down.
Really?
Right? Like, at that age, it's like, oh yeah, the grandparents go first. Not 16-year-old lads that are playing football, you know? So for me, that was it was just, whoa, what's going on? So extremely lost. And what I used to actually do was, I actually just used to stay up all night and just like Google motivational quotes. Something to actually just keep me going. And I always came across Buddha, right? Buddha would always have some sort of quote. Buddha said this, Buddha said that. And I used to be thinking, what was Buddha doing to be thinking like this? I was like, what was he doing? And then I was like, I looked into it and I was like, meditation. I was like, what is meditation? I used to think it was like you have to sit there for hours, be like, but then I realized, okay, it's not that deep. I found Headspace then. That's how I got into
for me.
it.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it at 18. I found Headspace and tapping away at it. So you try a 3-minute meditation, last 1 minute. Jesus, I can't sit with myself for more than a minute. What? My mind's going racing. But then the more that I did it, I was like, no, there's definitely something in this. If Buddha did it and he has all this wisdom, surely there's something out of this. So that's where, like, I'm not a Buddhist and I'm not essentially following that religion, but it was essentially, that's what got me into it. And then I started getting more relaxed. I started to stop thinking for hours on end each night. I used to use it for going to sleep, so sleep meditations, and then I was actually getting a good night's sleep.
And would you use the meditation to just drift off, or how do
I'd have it playing on my phone just beside the bed, and I'd just let it run for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I'd just drift off. Sometimes I wouldn't drift off, but I'd be a lot more calmer than what I was. It's like, there's something in this. And then it became a relationship with trying to incorporate this every single day into my life, and it was a journey for about 4 years of on and off, and different meditations, different techniques like box breathing, Wim Hof, and like YouTube videos. And I'd never actually gone to someone for, let's say, a breathwork event, you know. So I was really doing it by myself. So on off, oh jeez, I've meditated in like 3 months, but I'd be keeping track of it. Like I started journaling then at about 18. I'd be like, oh, I had this unbelievable experience when I was meditating, and like, I mean, like, I was having like out of body experiences because I was reading like Dr. Joe Dispenza's books.
Great book.
I was watching his stuff as well. So that's what really started it.
And were you doing his meditations at the time?
I was doing chapter by chapter. I was doing his meditations, and I was out of body like with these meditations. I was like,
expand that. Go a bit deeper on that for me. Because it's very difficult for someone to listen to this and have no insight. But
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So out of body, like lying down, okay, with the breathwork, like becoming present in the room. Okay, so doing a body scan. Okay, taking note of how your head feels on the pillow. Okay, your shoulders, how your back feels, how your legs feel, and actually using your mind's eye. So when you close your eyes, like, you can focus your mind's eye towards your toe right now if you really just sat with yourself for a couple of seconds. Okay, doing that. So that's what Joe Dispenza teaches, and he goes into detail about how to do it. Right, so following it by detail. Okay, reading it before. Okay. And then I'll be going into it like, wait, hold on, just step by step. Okay, lovely. Going into it. And then because I was getting to such a deep, relaxed state from being so present in the moment, becoming completely aware of my body, you just end up drifting off into this beautiful, beautiful realm. Okay, so he talks about the quantum realm, okay, and how it exists all around us. Okay, so without getting too scientific about it, he basically just gets you to just focus on, like, above your head.
Yeah.
Focus on the energy above your head. If you can focus on your body, if you can focus on your head to your toe, you can focus on that energy above your head. And when I started doing that, it really, really took me to, like, out of body experiences.
Another world.
So one of the experiences that I had, okay, was I was lying on the bed, fully conscious that my back and my head and my legs are all on the bed. But what I was seeing and what I was feeling was like me rising up out of the bed, and I was looking at myself on this bed. I was like, okay, and then, like, it was kind of like in and out of this picture. I was like, right, yeah. I was like, just focus, just present. Let the mind do what it wants to do. And what happened then was, like, I was looking at myself on this bed, and then I started, like, rising right up to the roof, and I could feel, like, the roof on my shoulders, right?
Like you were levitating.
Like I was levitating, right? Then I started punching the roof, right? And I punched a hole in the roof, okay, through my ceiling. This is happening. Like, I'm lying down right now, and I'm punching holes in my roof. This is mad, right? So then what happened was, I get into the attic, and my attic's always freezing, and I got that chill all over my body. I was like, right, just keep going with this. Just stay present. Because if you tune into that feeling, you'd lose it. You'd
lose it straight away.
Straight away. So I was like, right, let's go with it. And then I ended up punching a hole throughout my roof and, like, crawling out of the roof. And I literally I rose up above my house. You could see all around. And I just remember being up there, just letting out a huge roar. Just being like, yes. And I mean, head to toe, I had this unbelievable release in my body. And I just remember opening my eyes, and I was just in the room, and I was like, oh my God, there is something way, way bigger than just meditation here that we can tap into. And it really set me on that path and that full-on belief that this is real. Because people say breathwork. What's breathwork? Gosh, you breathe all day. That you can get deep with it, very, very deep with it, if you just keep at it and you keep trying. And that was just through my own meditations and Joe Dispenza by myself, starting the journey before any guided spaces kicked off.
Man, I'm lost for words. That's incredible.
It was mental.
Because I've had a few experiences, but not to that degree, and probably not what you felt there. That is something else. Something that's been happening to me recently as I'm meditating. Like I say, I meditate, but I also, use my breath as well, become conscious of it, do a bit of box breathing as I'm meditating, and then go back between meditation and box breathing, back and forth. And recently, when I've been meditating, I'm sitting there, body is still, mind is still, breathing nice and relaxed. I'm a few minutes into it, about 10 minutes into it. My eyes now, man, start darting back and forth like 100 miles an hour, and I've no control over it. I've no control. And I don't know if it's like a spiritual thing or like my nervous system is going off on one, and then all these fucking like shapes and patterns, man, are in front of me, and then I'm witnessing my breath. I'm losing my sense of breath. I'm like, this emotion is coming over me, man. It's madness. This morning, done a bit of meditation. I'd say roughly I was about maybe 13, 14 minutes into it. And it started to come upon me, but train of thought went, and that whole experience went with it. And like you said, if you lose your concentration, it's just gone out the window. You've lost your experience.
It's funny because
Man, it is surreal. Like I think the greatest journey that we can go on is a spiritual journey. We can travel around the fucking globe, man. But the whole world exists inside of ourselves. And this journey of spirituality is there's layers to it, man. You're talking about levels of consciousness, which is just like you're going to the astral realm, man. You're going to a different, this here right now is 3D. There's 5D, there's 6D, there's fucking 12D, man. There's so much to it. And I am just fascinated by your experience and your interest in it as well, man. That's why, I fucking really wanted to have you on, because Andy knows about this stuff.
And see what you're saying there about the eyes going like jittery or whatever, and see the way that you lost the trail of thought. Like what happens with me there is it spirals, right? Like I go like spinny when I'm at that space. I'm like, oh, it's about to happen, and the second I do that, it doesn't happen
because of your thoughts.
Exactly. It's like whoa, and like it's saying, see that there, like, oh, okay, what's going on, and then it doesn't happen. You just have to let it happen. Actually happen.
Let go, man. Completely surrender to it, because when you surrender, like. That experience you're having of levitation, man, that is... Where do you think it takes you to?
Different dimensions. Definitely different dimensions. You touched on, like, this is 3D, that's 4D, 5D, 6D. So I think it's quantum physicists have discovered that there is at least 12 realms happening right now, or they've mapped it out. I think it's like they've discovered hundreds of realms, but they've actually mapped out 12 realms that are actually happening at the same time as this. So I think it brings you into one of them realms. And levitating, rising, I think you're going into a different realm. Definitely. You're going into the unconscious part of your brain, essentially, is what I feel. Because 5% of our brain is the conscious part of our brain, the critical thinking,
which majority of people never use.
Which, the critical thinking?
The 5%.
Is that not like planning your day, like thinking like all throughout the day?
Okay, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, I'll let you explain it.
So from my understanding, it's 5% is like, okay, like what am I doing today? Okay, I got to do this. Oh, I got to solve that problem. I got to do that task and work. Okay, and then 95% is actually subconscious. So how your organs are operating, how you breathe all day, your heart rate, your blood pressure, all that stuff is like the subconscious part of the brain. 95% is from what my understanding is. So I feel like when you tap into yourself and your breath, you leave the critical thinking, the monkey brain is what they call it, and then you go into the subconscious. And then I think when you're there, that's when these out of body experiences are happening, because I don't know where it is, but I think that's what it does. And then you have these experiences.
And they're transformational. And the big thing I took away from Joe Dispenza's work, what was the name of the book? His most popular book, you probably know, blue cover. Become Supernatural, yeah. Was manifesting your future and having like a heightened intention with an elevated emotion, and then using that meditation to bring something into your life, man. I swear to God, man. Like I kind of touched on after meeting someone, right? Fucking love the girl already, like straight up love her. But I was writing about her in my journal, I'd say a good month before. And every single night, man, I'd write about what the qualities she'd have, how feminine she would be, how beautiful she'd look, how we'd be together. Every night, man. And I would always attach gratitude to it. So my heightened intention was to, bring this girl into my life, make sure she becomes present, and then expressing gratitude. You have to attach emotion to it. That's the one thing, that's the big thing I took from Joe Dispenza's work. Lo and behold, a month later, this random girl follows me off the back of a reel. She's private. I follow her back. I text her, end of meeting, the end of the week, and the rest is history. You know what I mean?
So you wrote about this girl before you even met her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But this is the thing, man. Like, we're talking about different realms here. So this is all material world, but I believe the fifth dimensional world operates from a place of maybe thought frequencies. So your thoughts are very powerful. And if you project thoughts out there that you want to come full circle back into your life, it can happen. And that's just one example. And I'm starting to use it now for other things. Now that she's present in my life, I'm like, okay, what else do I want to achieve in life? What do I want to put out to the universe to receive back through excitement, gratitude, love, enjoyment, all these, like when I think of these emotions, man, they fill me up. I feel alive when I feel loved or excited or joyful about something. It's like, yes, tap into this. Cultivate the garden in your own mind. What, do you want weeds or do you want flowers that are blossoming and growing? Because the weeds are all the fears and the anger and the jealousy and the bitterness. That's fucking bullshit. Why would I want that in my garden? I want a place that's heavenly, that is just like harmonious. This is the world that I want to live in. And the whole world is operating inside my own mind. So cultivate this garden to be such a beautiful experience for yourself.
I love that. Cultivate the garden of the mind.
Yeah, man. But the breath has really helped me, because meditation was something that I was like, before I came along to breathwork, man, and downloaded the Headspace app, I came across Jay Shetty's work.
Okay.
Do you know Jay Shetty, the monk? He wrote a book, Think Like a Monk. Got into that book. I was like, I need to start meditating, man. This sounds surreal. And I'd watch him, and he's so charismatic, and he's so in tune with people. He's so present. He's so giving. He's so loving. I'm like, I want to become this guy. My own version of him, right? And went up a hill. So I was living in a place called Stirling at the time. Okay. And I used to walk up this hill. It was called Gowney Hill, but it was spelled Gowan. Go on. Go on. So this hill. Go on hill, right? And I used to walk up there barefoot, man, up to the top of the hill. It used to take me about 5 to 10 minutes to reach the top. I'd be walking barefoot, and these rabbits running around me, all these flowers. Beautiful, man. Get up there, throw the earpods in, sit there, Headspace app on, and just meditate. And I do it over and over and over again, man. And then I became conscious of my own life. Because I was, at the time, I was studying a degree, and I just qualified. I was like, I'm not really mad about this profession, but I'm caught in it at the moment, and I have to find a way to get out of it. But I was like, it's the first time I became aware of my actions, of my thoughts, of my emotions. Because if you're not, you're operating the whole time. If you're not aware of your life, you're operating from that subconscious part of your brain and not being conscious of every action and decision, because it all stems from your thoughts, man. That's what creates your reality. Like your thoughts, your words, your emotions. It's just so important to be aware of them.
Awareness. That's the exact word there. The awareness. 100%. The second that you bring awareness into your life, you actually start to understand how you've been operating, how you've been showing up for yourself, how you've been showing up in your relationships, how you've been showing up in life. And then you start unpacking it. It's like, whoa, am I actually living the life I want to live? It's like, well, I have that good. That's pretty good. I don't really like that. Or I actually hate that. And then that's where you can actually start making decisions, actual decisions directed towards what it is that you actually want to achieve. Once you are aware of who you are, where you're at. Yeah. That's why I love it so much. That's why it brought me to me, essentially.
I love that, man. Brought me to me. That is exactly what it is.
It brings you to you. You know, it literally, as you've just said, walking up that hill, sitting down, taking the breaths, feeling your body in that moment, feeling the breeze on the body, feeling the sun hit the skin, or if it's windy, cloudy, whatever, you're present of that, feeling that. It's like, whoa, I'm Andy Mooney, or I'm James Hampton. You know, and you're feeling that head to toe. It's like, wow, this is what it's like to be alive. To really engage all senses, your ears, your touch, your smell, all of it, bringing it all in. It's like, wow, this is what life is actually like. And then it's like, okay, how do I get more of this?
Yeah. How can I mold or almost mold my reality? Because when you become aware of yourself, you're like there may be certain things that you need to let go of, add in, take away, subtract, whatever it might be. Then you're like, okay, if I have got this awareness of myself and of my body and of my mind, surely I can impregnate my mind with thoughts to create a better reality in my future. And it takes time, and there's a bit of a process to it, but it's more than possible. Like a guy I've mentioned many times before, big idol when I was growing up, Conor McGregor. Like, he manifested, and he worked for it as well, don't get me wrong, he clearly worked for it, but he molded his whole world to become the UFC champion, become the double champ. He'd done that, but he used to speak about it out loud. He used to tell people it's going to happen. He used to express gratitude and love for what was coming his way. And lo and behold, what did he do? He walked the walk, he talked the talk, and he took the 2 belts home.
if you look at anybody that's successful, any athlete, anyone that is in any sort of higher status or celebrity, they always, if they're asked, how'd you get here? Visualization.
That's it.
It's real.
What is the greatest faculty that we possess? Will I tell you?
Tell me.
Imagination.
There you go.
Imagination. Human beings are such we're visionary creatures. We see something in the future. We want to create this, do this, do that. It all starts in your imagination. It starts upstairs. You've got to see it, believe it, and achieve it. But you have to see it first. So important.
Everything is a manifestation of your thoughts.
Yeah.
This table right here, someone thought about the design. Cut out the middle there.
Yeah.
Put it there in this studio. Someone thought of this. And now it's here. This microphone. Someone thought, how can I make sound deadly? I'm going to build a fucking deadly microphone.
Yeah.
Everything came from a thought.
Yeah.
If you really actually break it down like that, like who put that plant there? Someone thought of it. It all stems down to that.
Yeah.
So you're spot on with the imagination. And it's something that I feel like we lose as we're growing up. You know, it's something that's so prevalent. Like you look at it, like my nephew, for example, yeah, 3 years of age. This kid is just a ball of imagination. Just running around, just saying whatever he wants, creating all these scenarios. Like the other day, out of nowhere, he just runs up to me, runs through my legs, and then he comes back around, runs through it again. And I'm just looking at him thinking, what's he thinking of right now?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I kept turning around, letting him run through the legs. I was stopping him. He was like pushing through. I was like, what does he think is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, what's he imagining in his brain? I was like, then I started thinking colours, started thinking pictures, and then I almost like started putting myself in that mindset. I was like, wow, this is mad.
Incredible.
The imagination is so powerful. Like,
it is indeed, and I think they say with kids as well that their brain waves up until the age of 6 or 7 operate from a different frequency, because you got like, I know them off the top of my head, but I don't know what they are. They're like alpha, theta, beta, and you experience. And I think with that experience you had with the Joe Dispenza one, gamma. Is that what it?
I actually don't know it off the top of my head either.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gamma brainwaves that Joe Dispenza teaches you to get into. Gamma brainwave, that relaxed state of almost like dreamlike state.
Dreamlike state.
Conscious, awake, not fully asleep.
And in the book, because I listened to the audiobook, but it attaches like all the illustrations of the book. It shows the frequencies and how they work. And like this, man, even this conversation now, I'm like, how can I tap into this more? Because like at the end of the day, we all want to mold our reality. And like you're doing that now with the job that you're in, and then going to Bali and traveling the world. Like you understand this, and now you're beginning to use it.
100%. And it came from up there. It's like, what sort of a life do I want to live? I want to be able to make money from anywhere in the world. Okay, I'm currently an electrician. Can I do that the way I want to do it? Do I want to be a Sparks in Bali? Do I want to be a Sparks in Barcelona?
Yeah.
No. So how do I do it? It's like, okay, working on a laptop, Wi-Fi. Okay, money hitting the bank account. How am I going to do it? I don't know yet, but I'm going to think of it. I'm going to think of it. And then lo and behold, someone popped up on my feed. Irish guy making money online. I thought, I have to reach out to him now, because this is all I'm thinking about. This is all I've been thinking about. Lo and behold, end up joining the academy that he was in. And then from then on, every single thing that has happened up until December, all of that there, I was in such a flow state of creating what I wanted. It's like, okay, I want to talk to this person. I want to meet this guy. And then next thing, they're popping up in the chat. Oh, what's up? Do you want to do a role play? Do you want to do break down a call review? I'm like, wow, like I haven't even texted this guy. And that actually happened. I went into a meditation and I was like, I want to speak to this guy, because I think from the calls, he has a great understanding of this. I was like, I'd love to speak to him. Sitting in my own thoughts, I was like, I'd love to speak to this guy. I came out of that meditation, I look at my phone, 5 minutes ago, this guy had texted me on my phone.
What?
I was like, we'd never interacted on the calls. We never even spoke to each other, didn't even follow each other on the platform that it's on. Like, we were just present on the calls together. And to me, when that happened, I was like, I'm going to manifest the fuck out of the rest of my life here going forward. I was like, everything that goes forward here is going to happen in my brain before it happens.
That is madness, man. But then again, I'm not surprised, because I think Joe Dispenza in that book, Supernatural, talks a lot about synchronicities. I fucking love that word, man. But like, if you like that intention you had there of connecting with that guy, you went in with that intention to the meditation, and some part of your thought frequency and energy synced up to whatever frequency he's on, and he ends up texting you 5 minutes.
He lives in Australia on a different time zone, completely different time zone. Just happened to be his evening time, my morning time. Do you know what I mean? It's mental.
And how are you using what you understand of manifestation now going forward? Now, I know obviously you're traveling abroad. and you're doing high ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
How are you using that to cultivate your own life going forward?
So what I'm doing now is I had a fantastic chat with my mentor. Okay, so he was talking about, like, it's all well and good if you want to make 10k a month, 20k a month. He's like, how are you going to do it? And he gave us literally a chart to like break down, like dissect the goal. It's like, what's the goal in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, why the goal? How?
Yeah.
And so you start off like in the middle, it's smaller. So what's the goal? Okay, let's say 10k a month. Okay, so why the goal? Well, I'd love to just not have to look at my bank account and when I'm tapping something or booking a flight. Okay, how? Role plays, call reviews, constantly leveling up, and like sea swimming, meditation, like all that has to come into how. How are you going to actually do it? And then you got to go do it. So my manifestation now has come from that chart and what I want to achieve going forward. So when I'm sitting down, so I sit with myself every single day. Okay, I'm literally imagining 10k in my Revolut, just 10,000 off the bat. 10,000, and I'm imagining it in Q1. Okay, so in the next 2 months, it's gonna be there in my mind, and it's not even just imagining it. Okay, it goes back to what you're saying about Joe Dispenza, attaching yourself to that higher frequency. So I'm giving thanks for it, and I'm saying thank you for this 10k. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have this, and like what that actually, it's not even just like giving thanks for it. It's also feeling it. Yes. What does that feel like? Oh my God, like what does it look like in my head and how does it feel? I'm imagining how the phone feels in my hand. I'm imagining how I feel looking at that. I'm imagining me being on a beach in Bali right now, looking at that, looking around, hearing the waves of the sound of the waves, seeing the people running around, sun setting, and it's like, oh, and I like really put myself, using the imagination to put myself in that moment. That is how I manifest. I put myself in the moment and I feel it and I give thanks for it. So feel it truly, as vivid as you can get, even down to the smell. If you can imagine what it smells like, that salt water crashing off the beach, some barbecue happening in the distance, like get creative with it, because you may as well. You may as well get as deep as possible with it. And then essentially that's how I manifest my things going forward. How I've manifested anything really. It's like feel it and give thanks for it. And then just do what you got to do to get there.
And when you're manifesting things in life, are you manifesting multiple things at once, or is there normally kind of like one focal point, or what's that look like?
It's kind of in stages, yes, stages. So it's like, okay, I really love for this to happen. And
did you manifest Bali?
Sorry?
Did you manifest going to Bali?
Yes.
Yeah.
Manifest. I didn't actually manifest Bali in particular. I manifested Asia. I always wanted, for the last 4 years, I've known that when I finished my apprenticeship, like, I'm gone to Asia. Because I went there 5 years ago and I was like, I have so much unfinished business here. So for my whole apprenticeship, I was like, I'm going over to Asia. Like, I'll be there in the trenches.
I'm going to Asia.
No, yeah, right. It's like in the trenches. I was like, I can't wait to get to Asia. I know what it looks like. I know what the people are like. I know what it smells like. I know the sights. So it's easy for me to imagine it in my brain and to get me there quicker because I've already seen it. Yeah. And it's like, I need to get back there. And I've always known. So then essentially, the way it's unfolded is that the opportunity came up to start the high ticket sales. And I said, if I start this and I keep working as a Sparks, I'm not going to have the energy to actually give this my all. I was like, I see more potential in that than ever being a Spark. So I dropped the apprenticeship right at the end. And it's something that I didn't tell many people about because I knew that was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I have one block of college left. I was like, this is, how am I going to break this to my mum and dad? I was like, the only way that I'm going to break it to them is if I lock in with this and I achieve results and I rock up to the gaff and say, Mom, Dad, this is what I'm making this week. This is why I left it. And that's exactly what I've done. Okay. So I know it was crazy, but I was like, I actually just, this is the life I want to live. This can give me the life I want to live. What I'm doing can't. For me, I need to go all into this because I've wanted this for 4 years. Like, I don't care about my name on a certificate right now. It means jack shit because I'm not going to use it because I knew full well I was never going to be a Sparks after I got qualified. I was just getting it for my own ego to have a name on a certificate. Yeah. And when I realised that, I was like, right, fuck the certificate. I'm going all in.
Man, I fucking love the balls of that. A lot of people would have just stuck it out.
It was the advice from all angles. And like, don't get me wrong, I knew that was going to become, but my why was so strong. It was like, do you know what? Like, my biggest regret is that I actually went back and did it 2 years ago when I actually quit from an employer. I took a few weeks off and I was like, I said it to my mum and dad, I'm done. And I said to everyone, I'm not going back to this. I was like, I am so finished with this apprenticeship. This is not the life I want to live. And they're like, but you're so close. You're halfway there. You're halfway there. You're so close. Everyone around me, every single person around me told me that I should do it. And I gave into that, even though I was like, yous are wrong. I'm the one showing up to these working environments. I'm the one taking shit off the boss. I'm the one that's getting covered in dust. I'm the one that's in the trenches here all day, putting my body on the line, my mental on the line. sacrificing my whole life for this, coming home not being able to do anything because I'm so wrecked from just running around. It's like, it's me. None of yous are actually doing this.
Yeah.
None of yous have actually even done this. So I took advice off people who weren't in my situation, and they were just giving their perspective. And then when this opportunity came around, I was like, I know in my heart and soul that I'm not going to be a Sparks. I knew it. And I knew that when this came around, I was like, fuck, I'm not doing it. And I was like, I don't care what anybody has to say. I was like, because I'll prove them wrong.
Yeah.
I'll prove it. I know that this is what I'm going to do. Worst case scenario, if it didn't work out, I could go back to being a Sparks.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I could go back to the life that I was living. Worst case scenario.
But that door opened for you
When
you came across that Instagram. Was it an Instagram ad?
It's when I actually quit. It's actually when I quit that employment, and I was like, right, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off here, and I'm going to start something online, because it's what I've always dreamed of. I was like, I want to start something up, so when I'm done my apprenticeship, I can go away and I can make money abroad, because I didn't want to go away with 10k, 20k saved, spend it all, have the best time of my life.
Have to come back.
Come back, and then I'm winter, 7 o'clock in the morning, it's lashing rain, and I'm outside doing lights.
Yeah.
That was a miserable reality for me that I had in my head. So I was like, right, I always wanted to learn how to make money online so I could do it. And then when that opportunity came, it literally came like 3 days after I quit the job, right? That opportunity came, I was like, I'm going all in. Okay, it was literally a TikTok that I saw. Conrad McKenna, Irish guy, TikTok. And then from then on, when I started that's when I started opening up breathwork spaces. And then that's when I started having these unbelievable, deep conversations with random conversations about just life, and having these amazing encounters with these people that I was going down to the beach like 9 o'clock, like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd just sit there for like 2-3 hours, and I'd just sit there, meditate, because it was at the end of summer, so I was like, it's still warm. I'd just sit there, journal. People coming in now, I'm having unbelievable conversations with people, because they're just coming up like, oh, so how are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm great, how are you? Oh, I'm absolutely fantastic, how are you doing? And then it just kicked off, opening up spaces, other opportunities where I was getting invited to events that I didn't even know about. I was trying all these other different holistic methods that I heard of, I didn't really know about. And then next thing I'm in these rooms, I'm like, wow, life is really kicking off for me here. Like almost like synchronized with what I actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like stepping away, cutting that tie of that environment, and then just like your energy, attract like that energy coming into me and then giving it back. It was transformative, that stage of my life, and it really just showed me what's actually out there and how much life there actually is to experience when you just step out of a toxic environment, whether it's a workplace, a relationship, even a household. The second you cut out of that, you're going to attract what you want.
Yeah.
It's going to come to you.
And I think what happens as well, because I have a similar insight to what you experienced, is when you come out of it, you go into alignment. You tend to, because you cut off what was so far from what you are as a person. And then you're on the beach and you've got these people approaching you, and you're starting to feel connected, and they're inviting you to these like holistic events like you mentioned there. Then you're opening up your own space. Carl Jung talks about it. He talks about signs, symbols, and synchronicities as well. He talks about synchronicities too. And the more I think about it now, man, I think there's a path laid out for each and every one of us in life. But we have to find what that path is. And we've got to be brave enough to go on that path, because it's so easy in life to give into comfort and do the traditional route, whatever it might be, because that's easy and it's like it's guaranteed. Like this path you're on now, it's your own path. You know that too, but it's not going to be straightforward or easy. There's going to be bumps in the road, and you'll make it happen bit by bit, but you will be challenged along the way, is what I'm trying to say. But at least you know in your heart of hearts, and the heart knows it all. The heart is the most, I always say, it's the most magnetic, most influential part of our whole being. It just deep down intuitively knows what we're meant to do with ourselves. And like your story there, you're now following your heart and you're on that path, and you're in alignment. That's the most important word, is that you're aligning who Andy Mooney is into this profession. And you know, Q1, man, you're going to reap the rewards. You're on that beach in Bali, open up the phone, and Revolut's looking nice and tasty.
That's it. And like, it was in my mind this whole time. I was like, this is what I'm going to do at the end of my apprenticeship. And then I obviously didn't finish it out, but I was like, it's not worth going back to it. Yeah. It's not. I have no attachment to that anymore. It's like, I learned so much lessons. I will never do it again. I have people asking me for Nixers, put on the Snickers, go back to work. And what was happening was, when I did cut the ties with the work, I was doing Nixers for a while afterwards. And I was just like, it was fine, because at the time when I had joined the academy, I was only learning. So I wasn't actually earning. So it was fine. But then once I started earning money, every time I put those Snickers on, man, it was like It was like I was getting like flashbacks of all the years of like bosses just giving me grief, all the negative experiences that I had, the hard work, the torture that you put your body through as a construction worker, you know. And it's not easy work. It's not for the lighthearted, you know. Anyone that's ever asked me like, oh, what do you think about going into apprenticeship? Oh, I'd love to be a sparksman. Like you're gonna have to, like, can you handle a bit of heat, like, and like, can you handle a slagging? Can you handle a grown ass man taking his anger and stress that he carries from his home out on you? Can you handle that? Because if you can't, go into it. If you can't, steer the fuck away, because that's what you're going to be dealing with. So I forget why I started talking about that. I'm about to lose my train of thought.
We were talking about being in alignment, and you were talking about putting the Snickers back on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so whenever
Keep your pants on, Andy, will you?
so when I put them on now, I just get angry. And I'm like, oh, and like, I'm actually getting like agitated, you know. And even like what's after happening there now, I've been doing a few jobs just there for family friends there the last couple of weeks, just before I go, just to sort them out, because they've been asking me for ages. I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it. I'm like, right, I'm actually going now. I need to do it. And I've actually just stopped putting the Snickers on, because I realised it's actually triggering me. So I'm putting the tracksuit bottoms on now, and it's a bit better, but it's not this. It's still like, it's still shy.
Emotion. We carry emotion in different ways.
Those trousers.
It's just a reminder for you the whole time. A reminder of a time that's not very positive. It's completely negative, and carries weight as well.
But you don't realise, right? So when you separate yourself from an environment, you don't actually realise how much that actually was holding you back, or how it was affecting you, until you step away from it.
You know what's very interesting? Came across something recently. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It's by a guy called Richard Hawkins, I think his name is. And he designed this scale called the scale of consciousness. Have you ever seen it before?
No.
It is fascinating. I actually have a picture. I'll show it to you, right? But it at the very top, is what Buddha reached, which is enlightenment. And it's like expanded consciousness. So when you're in a place where it's kind of like, the top is enlightenment, love, peace, joy, gratitude. And then it goes further down the list. And at the very bottom anyway, very bottom is like fear, anger, hatred, jealousy. Very kind of low frequency or low emotion of, or a low state of consciousness. That's the word I'm looking for. Low state of consciousness. When you're down here the whole time in that negative, you can't expand your mind. Like, you can't have them thoughts that would put you into alignment or new creative ideas, because you're locked in here in the bottom. And when you kind of cut that off, when you let go of the apprenticeship, then you open up. So your consciousness is now expanded. Now you find breath work in your journal on the beach, and you're meditating. You're up here now, and it's all creative. Like, the whole reason we're here on this planet, I do believe we're God's greatest creation, first off. But what he wants us to do is create. He wants us to almost give back to him.
From the heart.
From the heart, man. From the heart as well. But just to create something in this world as well. And that's quite interesting, like you said. That negative emotion that comes from putting the Snickers on. It's like, it's like, get away from this. Like, it's very, man, you can feel it. Like, we feel emotions on a very deep scale, and emotions are very important, because they constantly, they're like signals to yourself. Like, what's going on in this environment? How am I feeling? It's important. I know a lot of people want to neglect emotion, and it's like, no, it has its place. It definitely does. And if you want to do something with your life as well, you need to be in that kind of expanded consciousness where it's kind of peace, love, joy, enlightenment. Very, very important to be. I'll just show it to you just to give you an insight, because I'll put it up on screen for people as well. That's it there. You can zoom in on it as well.
I've seen something similar in Joe Dispenza's book, where he talks about the frequencies and like the
have a look at it there. And just
energetic log. Okay.
Even explain to people. I just want to check the cameras 2 seconds. Enjoy this, man.
Yo, brother. The deep chats.
Good chats.
Love, reverence.
Yeah, so even when you're looking there, if you look at the lower ones, what do they consist of?
Grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. And then fear, desire, anger, pride.
So that's all. Yeah, that's a bit higher up, isn't it?
It goes up. Yeah, that's like, I couldn't even tell you what colour that is at the bottom. It's like a peachy, and then orange, and then yellow, green.
Yeah, I think purple.
Yeah, so the bottom's shame and guilt, which is so fair, because you can't create anything, because you're just so in your own head when that's
exactly
that's your mindset. It's
exactly.
Like, oh my God.
On the very top, it's kind of like all purpley. Peace, love, joy. And it says next to this one, that's the spiritual paradigm. So when you're operating from a spiritual paradigm, it's enlightenment, peace, joy, and love. And then the kind of middle part is reason and integrity. So that's reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage. And then the lower one survival paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to be surviving in life. You want to be fucking thriving because it feels good to be
Mm-hmm.
in them higher states of consciousness.
You want to have that reason. You want to, like, once you're like, if you're in that trapped environment, that trapped low vibrational frequency, you want to be getting into something like it's the growth of, you want to be into the thrive and the reason, and then when you have that reason, you have that purpose,
build.
you can sit back and you can say, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself on that kind of scale right now? Because we all operate. The interesting thing about, like, that's where emotion and frequency comes in. We're vibrating somewhere in that scale at multiple parts of our day. But where do you find yourself now looking at that? Because you said you give yourself space in the morning to meditate, to do breath work. Where do you see yourself on that scale?
Right now, operating day to day, probably reason.
Nice.
At that.
So kind of middle.
Yeah, middle why, and then I sit with myself to bring myself up to that state of gratitude.
Yeah.
But I'd say where I'm at, I'm not, I don't even know if you'll ever be after true enlightenment, but I'm definitely not there yet. There's still so much work to do.
Yeah, I think the Buddha dedicated his whole life to meditation to reach there, so I don't know if we actually do reach there.
Yeah, but like, who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
There is moments where I've definitely tipped it.
Yeah.
With experiences, with breath work, with
that experience,
being held in space. Yeah, exactly. The experience we were talking about earlier, like, definitely at the tip of it, but like, then you're back down, and then it's like back into wherever you're at. So I'd say I'm operating at reason right now, purpose driven, like trying to create something here now.
Yeah,
trying to create that path towards enlightenment where I can put the feet up and just say, "Wow, what a life!" How about yourself? Where do you feel like you're at on that scale?
I kind of mentioned before, man, but love is very prominent in my life now. And it's not just a love for myself or other people as well. It's like operating from being heart-centered and brain-powered. So, like, listening intuitively to myself and then being like, okay, how can I, do something, give back to the world the whole time, or just produce more. I think the whole point in life, man, like I mentioned before, is to be creative, but operate from a place of love. Because when someone's in my presence, I always want them to feel how I must feel about myself. I want you to feel this emotion because love is so powerful, man. It moves mountains, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful to feel, beautiful to give, it's beautiful to get back as well. And that kind of karmic effect in life, that whatever you put out there finds a way to come back to you. Never expect it to come back, but just keep on.
That's it. That's the beauty behind it. Like, give it. Don't expect it back.
Don't expect it, man.
Don't expect it, because if you expect it back, like, expectations lead to disappointments. Give it out.
Well said.
Happy days. If it comes back, happy days.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, happy days.
Happy days, man. It's all happy days. I love it, but that's where I'm trying to operate from. And, with meditation helps me tap into that peace more so.
And when you're doing that then, so when you say tap into that peace, how are you tapping into your heart then in your meditation? Are you using, like, your mind's eye and going down to here, kind of feeling like the heartbeat? Are you kind of imagining what that is? Or how are you kind of doing that?
Of recent, how I would describe my meditation experience is just completely still in the mind. Like, I often view, like, when I explain this or illustrate it to someone else, I always say, if you imagine like a pond of water and your thoughts are like droplets and they come down, they create this rippling effect. What you want to do is get to the point where there's droplets are slowing down, there's less and less ripples, and then eventually you want to get this calm serenity. And that's why I try and create my own mind, is that kind of peace. I do occasionally, if I'm playing a different meditation or listening to something different, it'll be maybe heart focused, or Joe Dispenza is great for that. He gets you to actually really focus in on different regions of your body. But for me at the moment, man, it's sit down, 4-3-2 hertz, sit there in the back garden, got my meditation cushion, and just and then get to the point where we're no longer breathing, we're just kind of lightly focusing on what's coming in, what's coming out. Pure stillness, man. Body is still, mind is still. And it's just fucking peace, man. It's just fucking peace. It's like, this is beautiful. And then you take that into your day, man.
100%.
And you start making better decisions and better choices. And I think the biggest thing that meditation teaches people as well is just mindful of yourself. How are you feeling about yourself? What are the thoughts you're having? How do you treat other people when you're in your company? How are you treating them? How are you operating in the world? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for other people? Are you doing more? Could you have done that better? A bit more reflective on things as well, man. I have to say, if there was one habit that I could choose for the rest of my life, and I love the gym, I love ice baths, I love saunas, it would definitely be meditation, man. I'm constantly living my own mind. Like, I am the creator of my own world, and how I view the world is just through this lens up here. So it's like,
and the story that you tell yourself.
Yeah, that's massive as well.
It's so important to be your own best friend. And like, you've literally said it, like, you are with yourself every single second of the day. You gotta treat yourself right. And it comes down to that self-talk. Like, I think the first time I ever told myself that I love myself, I think I was like 23. Where I actually looked myself in the mirror and I said, I love you.
I love that, man.
And I was like, wow. Because I was always afraid to do it, because I was like, what if I love myself? Like, what if my ego grows and oh my God, I can't love myself.
But it's not like that,
That's
though.
pride. No. It's not like that, you know? And then I had to separate that emotional attachment to that word. And I remember, once I started doing that, oh my God, man, like my conversations with people were getting better. My whole outlook on life was getting better. I'd stop and literally smell the roses. And I was like, I love you. Like looking in, like, it sounds mad. And it does sound mad, but it's so powerful. If you can actually look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself 3 times without getting scared, fearful, and actually mean it, oh my God, what can come from that is huge. But I couldn't do that before. I couldn't do it.
And was the breathwork that helped you achieve that kind of state of mind?
Being held in space helped me just, like, meditation from 18 to 20, 26, 23 by myself was good. Growth, definite growth, but like stop and like stop, start, kind of choppy waters. Then when I got held in space, boom, that was 2.5 years ago.
And when you say held in space, what do you mean by that for someone that may not know?
So attending a guided meditation session held by somebody else, okay, where there's people there.
Have you had any transformative experiences there?
Oh man. Yes. So many transformative experiences here. So many experiences that I didn't even, like, just understandings of myself that I didn't even know. Visions of the future, visions of the past, things that were coming to me, understanding myself fully from just letting go and letting somebody guide. And it's all well and good. We can sit down, but when it's by ourselves and we're telling ourselves to breathe, we're still that dialogue. It's hard to actually let go of that chat and really just quiet it down, you know, unless you're really practicing loud. So that's the struggle for a lot of people that begin. So I always feel like people that are beginning need to go to a guided space, because that's where you can actually let go, because you don't actually have to do it. You just have to listen. So take a breath fully in. Okay. And you're just kind of being directed. It's kind of like an orchestra, you know? It's literally like an orchestra. Your man's up there conducting and like just letting the people breathe. So it was Patrick Joseph down at Millsock was my first experience. And
that's a great event, man.
It's unbelievable. So you know yourself.
Yeah, I've been a few times. It is
yourself.
Like, I think there's something to be said when you're with people. There's this collective consciousness then that happens, and everyone is breathing almost in unison. And like you said, man, it's like an orchestra. It is.
It's like what we were saying earlier. Like, when someone is bringing a good energy or a bad energy in the room. Now imagine 300 people bringing the same energy together. Good luck.
To the moon.
Gone.
And very interesting thing you mentioned there, visions of the future.
Just stuff that hasn't happened yet, and then it's happening, let's say a couple of weeks or months down the line. I'm like, where did this come from? I'm like, I've seen this exactly before. Where I got tuned into this was there was a particular work incident. I remember I was breathing on the beach, being led by Paddy, okay, and I was breathing on the beach, and I remember I was just thinking about work. I was thinking about like this guy that I'd never seen before, and this ladder. I was like, what's going on? Why am I in work right now? Like, this is my get out of work zone.
Yeah.
I was like, reel it back in. And then I remember that a couple of months later, this was a guy I hadn't met before. We were having a laugh in this vision, in this thing. I was like, what's going on? Get away. I don't even know you. What's going on? Goodbye. See you later. And then I remember on this ladder, I remember looking up at this guy. I was like, I was looking around. I was looking at him. And like, we were laughing. And I remember thinking, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this before? I was like, is this deja vu? I was like, this isn't deja vu. I've seen this before. Where have I seen it before? And I really had to sit with this for it took me a couple of weeks to actually figure this out, because I'd sit with it on a journal and I'd be like, what happened there? And I'd write down all my thoughts on my page, and it would come up and like, where did I see that from? And then it hit me. I was like, I was on the beach. I was like, what is going on? What's going on? So for me, like, breathwork just opens up doors that you don't even know exist. You open a door and then next thing, oh my God, there's another door, and then there's a step, and then there's a whole set of spiral stairs, and then there's another door and another door, and it's just like, what is going on? So for me, it was like, what's happened? And since then, it's happened since. I'm like, what is going on? This is like synchronicity again on some sort of level, you know. Goes back to manifestation, what we're thinking, and it's just, I don't know.
It's hard to explain, isn't it?
It's really hard.
I've been reading a lot about this, man, because a lot of people write about if we're just in one big dream, and it's hard to know. It genuinely is hard to know, because obviously got this table right here. If I
Mm.
touch you, I can feel you right now. You're Andy Mooney. You know,
Mhm.
you're literally sitting right in front of me. I can feel the flesh in your skin. I can, you know, things feel very real. But is it just one big dream? And then you think of it, what is the whole afterlife? What is it beyond this? Have we just been constantly reincarnated
Mm.
and go from, because I've thought about this in a bit of depth, man. I'm like, there's one part of us that is completely eternal, which is our soul,
Mm. Mm.
which, you know, feel it right now. Your body will one day decay, your mind will disappear completely,
Mhm.
but that soul, that spirit that lives inside of your body will live on for eternity. It's eternal. Where does that go?
Mm. Mm.
Does that go into another dream,
Mm.
another reality?
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Do I believe in reincarnation? I'd have to define it. Like, do we come back as someone else? Do we come back as a tree or a plant? You know, it's like, what is it? Because the interesting thing about being human is we've got a conscious and we've got an intellect to know what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Proctor says it best. You know Bob Proctor? You ever hear him
I've
before?
heard Bob Proctor, yes.
He said, we're spiritual beings having a human existence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. So we're spiritual beings. We've got a spirit inside us, and we just happen to be human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've got an intellect to know about that.
Mm.
Reincarnation, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. It fascinates me.
Mm.
And it definitely at one point used to scare me a lot.
Mm.
But the whole joy of living right now is to know it'll come to an end.
Mm.
You know what I mean? The whole experience is like, act with a bit of urgency in your life. You know, smell the rose when you can. Express gratitude and love others as well. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know. What's at the end of the abyss? Who knows, man?
Mm.
What's your thoughts on it? Have you thought much about it?
Yes. Yes. I do believe in it. I do believe in it. I do believe that there's some sort of a cycle of energy that goes on there. Whether it's into the ground and then we become a flower or a tree, I don't know. Whether we catch a flying bird as we're going off and as our body decays and then our spirit catches a bird and then lives that life, I don't know. But for me, have you ever seen like 3-year-olds ripping a guitar? And I mean like Jimi Hendrix style, ripping it. Have you ever seen like these child prodigies that can just bang out these like instruments?
Yeah.
They didn't learn that. That came from somewhere. Where did that come from? I believe that's a past musician in the past life coming through. And that's what I'd like. So like, I know it's a funny little way of looking at it. Yeah, I know it's a funny way of looking at it or whatever, but I remember seeing a video of this, like, it was like a 3-year-old Chinese kid and she was ripping up the guitar and I was like, that is not learned. That is like, that's passed on. Yeah. That's passed on from somewhere. She didn't just pick that out of the cosmos and just start ripping that. That's energy being transmuted from somewhere. And I do fully believe, though, that there is a whole recycle of whatever spiritual energy is going on. I do fully believe that.
Well, it would almost make sense if you look at seasons in life as well. Like, we have all these different seasons in the year, and things grow, decay, they come back around. Why are we any different? Because we're not. And like you said, that energy is probably passed on to her, and if she has it, and one day it'll be passed on to somebody else as well.
I think it's a constant cycle of trying to level up. So, like, have you ever met someone that's just extremely wise? Everything that comes out of their mouth, you're just like, yeah, that makes so much sense. And then you've met someone that everything that comes out of their mouth, you're like, shut the fuck up. What's the difference there? For me, it's a cycle of life. I don't believe it's necessarily fully experienced. I believe maybe this person has just gone through a couple of extra cycles of life. Maybe that person is only going through their cycles of life, and one day we'll get to that enlightenment stage. And I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe in energy being transferred and recycled, and then constantly just going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah. An interesting question off the back of that, just because you mentioned kind of reincarnation, we're talking about death here as well. Life, if just on a blank sheet of paper, if you write down what is life actually about, what is it about? Because there is no necessary meaning attached to it. We give it meaning. For you, what do you think the whole point of life is? And I'm guessing that has changed through meditation as well, and the breath work and the spiritual development you've gone into. Do you think there is any point to life?
Any point to life?
Yeah.
I think the point to life, I think my point to life, so I'll speak from the I believe that the way I walk in life is I just want to smile all day, every single day. Everybody will have their own different version of life. If I was to put a blank piece of paper here, what is life? Smile every single fucking day and mean it. And mean it. And smile big. And do that as often as possible, because that is the best emotion to feel. When someone cracks a joke and you're in a bundle and you're barreled over like, oh my God, tears coming out of the face. That is the best. And I feel like that's what it's about. It's about spreading that, receiving that, and just trying to do that as much as possible. You know, in terms of what's life about, like you've got wars going on, you've got people in poverty, people that are abused. I don't understand why that goes on, but in terms of what I believe, what I want out of my life is I want to look back on the day that I'm dying on my deathbed. I want to go out with a big smile and say, that was an absolute cracker.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want out of life. Just smile, laugh, joy. That's
I love that one. I love that. Such a good answer as well. Tell me, you've been holding space for a while.
Mm-hmm.
For how long now?
7 months now.
Okay.
7 months with group settings,
Yeah.
as in like more than 4 or 5. I'd say I've been holding space now for over a year.
What have you learned through the whole process of actually holding that space? Because it's a very, I would say it's very intimate, first off. But you, like we touch on this whole podcast, is like you have got to show up with good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been lucky enough to attend 2 of your breathwork session, man. And like I said, when someone's guiding it, you go to a different dimension altogether, different world completely. Because someone's kind of keeping you accountable, they're checking in with you, they're giving you the right cues, the music is playing in rhythm. It's transformational, no doubt about it. Like you walk away feeling like a different person. But what have you personally learned from it, from actually holding the space for people?
There's so much responsibility with it. So much responsibility. You know, you cannot show up and expect someone to do something that you haven't been doing. So I can't hold a space on a Sunday, and let's say it's Monday, and not hold space for myself throughout the week.
Yeah.
So there's so much responsibility there, which only helps you grow and helps you level up. And it's such an intimate experience, you know, like you're going deep with the breath. You know, it is transformative, as you've said. You know, you can get emotions come through. You sit with yourself, you see how your brain operates, and then you understand the way that you are and how you govern, and like all these experiences. Like you can have flashbacks of memories, and you can have flash forwards, let's say, of the future, all at the same time, and it could be overwhelming. So holding space for me, I love it so much because I just love connecting with people on that deeper level. You know, I love when someone's willing to go deep, because I love it. It's past the surface. It's to the heart. It's to the core. And for someone to trust me to hold that space, nothing but love and gratitude for that person, you know, or those people that show up. It fills my heart so much that someone would show up, and then when they show up again, I'm like, whoa, I have a responsibility here for this person to guide them and to make them feel safe, because you cannot. It goes back to setting, as we've been speaking out already. If you're not safe, you can't let go fully if you don't feel safe in your surroundings. So for me, it's about creating that environment, and the whole buzz about it is, like, I always thought that, I always said it to people that have held space for me, like, wow, thank you so much for doing that. You've had to sacrifice in your evening to give us that experience. And I remember I said it to Patrick Joseph, and he was like, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, I'm in it 10 times more than you. I was like, what? And he's like, oh, and you're feeling it 10 times more. It's like, really? Yeah. And it made sense, because he's holding a breathwork space with 300 people there. He is harnessing that power and that energy, and he is guiding that with love, with peace, with clarity, with presence, with complete and utter respect for everybody in the room and everyone that's on the beach, let's say, from Millstock in particular. So when he said that, I was like, right, okay, that's an interesting one, because I hadn't started holding space for groups of people, you know, but I've been doing one-to-ones, and I was like, wow, really feeling it. And like, you're connecting on a level, you know. You can feel emotion rising up in you, and you're like, right, okay, I need to stay strong here, because they might be going through something here. Why am I feeling this? Maybe they're going, like, stay strong, like, they're safe, you've got them. And then when I opened up my first group session, whoa, I understood exactly what he meant, like, you know, because I'd only really experienced it, like, one-to-one, and it was beautiful, a whole experience. But first group setting, when you are responsible for so many people, you really feel that energy of them breathing and going through that transformative experience together. And then you just end up, like, I remember the first one that I held, for the whole week, I was like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. I was like, no, be present. I was like, but I'm going to do that. It'd be nice to do this. Completely overthinking it, right? And then on the day, I ended up doing absolutely none of it, because the moment just took me away. Just getting into the present moment, leading from the heart. It's such a beautiful thing when you can lead from the heart, speak from the heart, move from the heart, act from the heart. And I just love it so much. I love it. And anyone that's been to the spaces, I love them for showing up and trusting me and just going forward. That's just the most divine connection to life, essentially, that I feel. Being in space and holding space, receiving it, giving it back.
Yeah.
It's
connection, man.
That's it.
Connection. Fucking human connection, man.
That's it.
Like, nothing gets deeper than that, man. nothing gets deeper than human connection and connecting with someone. And a very interesting thing you said there is like making them feel safe. Your energy has to project. You've got to feel safe in yourself, but then just to give that to other people so they can have this experience. Because you've guided, man. The most recent one I went to was obviously about 2 weeks ago. There's 20 odd people in the room. You're guiding like a whole group of people through this experience, which is just fascinating for the individual being part of it. But I couldn't imagine what it feels like for you. And like you said, you feel electrified off doing it as well, which is man, it's incredible. It really is. And just on the topic of kind of group work, we've touched on it off podcast, but I'd like to introduce, because I think we're coming into an age, man, bit by bit now, where plant medicines are being used more and more, and they will become more prominent in society over the next couple of years, and used in the right way to help people in multiple ways. You've had a bit of experience with psychedelics. Would that be a fair statement?
It would be a fair statement. I've delved into them.
But tell me more about kind of maybe why you used them, or what was the purpose behind it? Because you're not using it recreationally. You seem to have like an intention, once again, behind why you're actually doing it.
You literally took the word out of my mouth. It's the intention. It's not to get out the banger and have this whole.
That's a good phrase. Get out the banger.
It's not just to get out the banger and let's go crazy, you know. With the intention, they can be used, because like you see it in like reports coming out. Psilocybin is like, it's believed to cure depression. Like, yeah, no doubt. Like, if you ever done it, like it definitely has seriously healing properties. It comes from the earth, gives you this whole transformative experience. So I've sat in spaces where psychedelics have been used with the intention of sitting with it and going actually deeper within. You know, I believe fully in it. I won't say that I'm too educated on the topic to, let's say, even run like a whole day of an event like that. I'm only just getting involved with the breath. But for myself, I've attended spaces which were safe spaces where people have guided me through an experience. People that have been practicing, people that were experienced with it, knew what they were doing, and I've gone into them spaces, and I have really, you do transcend when used with the right intention. If you delve into it. Only there the other day, I tapped into a small dose of psilocybin, and blindfold on, breathwork pumping, and guided in the space. Blown away, beautiful. Like, you wouldn't know whatsoever with my eyes open. Like, I wouldn't have known with my eyes open that, let's say, I had taken psilocybin. But then when I kicked off with the breath, really knew all about it. And then when I opened up the blindfold after, completely back in the room again. It was unbelievable. And just a small dose, and just really like you're talking about, like the sensations in your body when you're breathing, and like colours and like things coming to your mind when your eyes are flickering, and colours and stuff like that. That's going on.
That's happening.
And
are you seeing things? Are you seeing visions or patterns or colours, or what is it?
Yeah, it depends.
And do you ever find it overwhelming?
Yeah, I had an experience there recently, which was quite overwhelming. It taught me a lot. I use it to find out about myself, right? To go deeper into my body. Where am I storing any sort of pain, any hurt, any trauma? Where do I need healing in my heart and my mind? Trying to understand the way I think and the way I operate a bit better. That's my intent always going into it. So I had an experience there recently. I had one of my brothers sit in on the space to just look over the space, because it's very important that the space is safe. Yeah. That you're held in the space if it does get emotional. Okay. So he held the space for me, and I went into it, and I had this like terrible pain in my stomach. Terrible. It was horrible. I was like, oh, what's going on? Oh, this is terrible. And then what came to me then was Shitemi. I was like, nah, I'm not dealing with this. I've dealt with this for years now. I've made my peace with it. We've had our chats in these spiritual realms already, through the breath, through different holistic practices, let's say. I was like, I don't need to go into this right now. I want something else. But it just wouldn't go. It would not leave me. It would not leave me whatsoever. I was like, right, I have to sit with this. And then sitting with it, breathing into it, into the pain, into the stomach, processing, like a whole, like almost like sitting across from each other sort of thing is going on in my mind with the blindfold on. Like, we're really in the same energy field here. And then trying to work through that pain, and it hurt. It really did hurt. And like a lot of gut-wrenching tears came out. Tears that I didn't know that I was holding on to from the trauma of obviously someone in your life passing away. Now, after years of dealing with this and trying to work through it, I didn't know that I was actually storing all that pain in my stomach. I didn't know, and I wouldn't have known if I hadn't used, let's say, the psychedelics with the right intention, and to go into it with the intention of uncovering myself. That's what I uncovered. I didn't want to go through it at the time, but I had to, because that's what it was bringing up for me. Let's say psychedelics like DMT, psilocybin, they're not going to show you what you want. They're going to show you what you need. And I was just getting shown what I needed at that time. And yeah, it was intense. Thank you to Brother Joshua for sitting into that space with me, because he really helped me through it. Really helped me ask a lot of questions that made me think differently, and then transmuted it into this whole like experience of love and gratitude for just to get to know Shatemi, the life lessons that he taught me, the life lessons that I carry with me since meeting him. Just this whole love and gratitude, like everything. I feel like everything, the way I walk in this life is, he taught me so much. I learned so much off that man alone, and I want to walk like the way he walked. Every time he went into a room, I mean, like, never seen anything like it. Like the energy just boom. It's like, wow, he really taught me how to live life. Like that's how you want to live life. You want to be that guy that uplifts people, that brings people to a higher energy, a higher frequency.
Operating from a place of joy the whole time.
Exactly. You want to be like, who doesn't want to be that guy? You know what I mean? I feel like that we all deep down want to be that happy-go-lucky, like, let's go, life, go-getters, happy, bringing up the vibe of the room. So for me, when I saw that at such a young age, it taught me so much lessons about, right, that's the life I want to live. I want to be that guy. When I walk into a room, boom, happy days. Everyone just feels a bit lighter. Everyone feels a bit happier. So had this whole experience, like, I mean, like, we had this whole interaction. It was a deep interaction that we had, you know, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, because we will be here for the next 2 hours probably talking about it. It was profound, truly profound.
And you felt maybe a sense of healing off?
I released so much emotion and so much pain that I didn't even know I had. For the next week after that, I was walking on clouds.
Wow.
Didn't even know I needed that. I didn't even know that I was holding on to that, you know. I was reading a book called The Body Keeps the Score.
I've heard of this, yeah. I need to read this.
Talks about how, let's say, he goes into the example about veterans, okay? Veterans, for example, okay? How they could be, let's say, at war, the Vietnam War, okay? And then 10 years later, they could be at the dinner table with their kids and their wife, and they're in a lovely home, the heating's on, dinner's just on the table. Let's say a fork hits the floor. Boom, they're right back in it. There's bombs going off, there's gunshots, there's blood everywhere, there's people getting blown to smithereens. They're in the comfort of their own home. The mind will leave that experience, okay, that traumatic experience. It will take you away from that experience, but the body remembers. So that's what it talks about, how the reason why that's happened is because that's stored trauma in the body.
It's like encoded in your nervous system almost.
100%. It gets buried in the body. The body keeps the score. The body remembers, and unless it's released and it's actually worked with, and I mean, sometimes talking helps. I mean, there's so many different practices. Like there's like Reiki, there's like yoga, there's breathwork, there's psychedelic experience. There's so much different ways of releasing energy that it's not, let's say, public to the masses. Okay, it's not common knowledge.
And this is something that definitely should be.
100%, without a doubt, 100%. It's stuff that is transformative for humans. With trauma that holds people back, it can be transformed, and there is ways out. It's just you got to find the right way. But how do you find the right way? Through education. But you got to go looking for these, like, let's say, Reiki healers or energy healers, or you got to go looking for these sound bath experience. Like, it's not public knowledge unless you know someone that's in the know, and then it's not on the radio, okay? It's not, the government don't stand up and talk about it. It's not educated in the skills. So you are left to your own devices to try find these places, but they're out there. So I feel like anybody that has anything going on in their life, there is a way out, and there is a practice there that will help you. It's just finding it is so fucking hard in today's day and age. And you think it'd be easy because online, it's like you have to know somebody that knows somebody, and you have to go to these spaces where breathwork's being held. And what that person does Reiki? What's that? Oh, it's energy healing, where they heal your chakras and they go through all this. Like,
chakras? What are chakras?
Yeah, exactly. And then it opens all these questions. But there's a practice out there for everybody, I believe. And yeah, look, I mean, psilocybin has helped me uncover like what is deep within me, but I can't wait to go over the body now and find out other practices that are through the breath, through moving the body, through some form of expression that isn't necessarily taking a substance, that is essentially just you, your mind, your body, your soul, and just delving deep into it.
Because there's definitely is a way as well.
Without it,
Yeah,
it's there.
It's there,
It's 100% there.
I think with what you just said, man, will give people so much hope. You know what I mean? If someone is or has gone through something in their life that is traumatic, that there's a way to uncode that, release it, and be healed from it.
It's there. I've seen it happen. I've been at breathwork spaces. I've seen Reiki done on people. I've seen these whole realizations and these whole transformations in people. It's real. It happens. And like, that's why I run the breathwork page. I want as many people in the world. Like, where I was doing it was Ardnamara Green, right? I think the most people I got there one of the days was 30 people. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. I want that green full of people. Not for myself, but for themselves, to know that, okay, these spaces exist. You can reach states of chillness, of awareness, of heightened awareness, of understanding of self, of understanding of others. I have a vision of that green stacked out. And I mean like poles of speakers from like stacked all the way through, because I'll hop on the microphone, I'll play the tunes. That's what I have in my head.
I'll be there.
That green fully packed out, because people need to know about it.
Yeah, they do.
They need to know about it. And it's not just because I love it. It works. I've seen it work with so many people. People that have come into it. I won't say his name in particular, but there's this one guy I met at yoga. Okay, he came. All he wanted to do at this yoga was touch his toes. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to be able to touch his toes with his legs straight. This fella is a qualified breathwork instructor. He's a sound path practitioner. He has been to hundreds of spaces. He has held hundreds of spaces since this moment, and it's really just transformed his healing, and it's transformed his life. And seeing that, bringing that awareness into him, it's not just me, it's him, it's you with your breath. It's real. Some people think it's hippy dippy spiritual guru wacko shit. It's fucking real.
It is real, yeah. It's as real as it could be. You know what I mean? We breathe 26,000 times a day. How many of them are we conscious of?
It's so simple.
So simple. It's great to tap into.
2 minutes.
Right, just to round us up, man. This has been a cracking conversation, by the way. You're running a sound bath. Sound bath? That's the right term?
Yes.
This Saturday. I'm very excited for it. Can't wait to come along. For anyone that doesn't know, what is a sound bath?
Well, I'm not running the sound bath. Darren, your
yeah.
purpose on Instagram, your _purpose on Instagram. He's running the sound bath. And so I'll do with the breathwork. So it's a breathwork and a sound bath combination, 2-hour session. So what is a sound bath? So a sound bath is essentially what Darren does is he specializes in creating different frequencies with different instruments. Okay, so you might have, like, it could even be as simple as having a triangle and just giving it a thing. Okay, he has all these instruments that, like, it kind of looks like you have a big huge dong. No, not a dong, a gong. Okay, a dong, a big dong.
We said that before we got going.
Big dong, yeah.
A gong.
A gong, right?
G-O-N-G.
G-O.
Not D-O-N-G.
A gong, okay, and like Darren will be up there on the night, okay, and he'll be banging that, and it will create a frequency, okay. But then he'll also have like a water shaker. He'll have some instrument that creates like a wind sort of movement, okay. But all the instruments that he plays, when he plays them in synchronicity, they are designed. He's been trained to create certain frequencies. So you mentioned listening to 432 hertz. Yeah, he's going to be creating that, and he's going to be creating 118. He's going to be creating different frequencies, and the whole purpose of it is to each frequency that he creates a different emotion and a different sensation in the body. Okay, so he just plays sounds, and it's called a sound bath because you get washed over with the noise that he creates.
Washed over with the noise.
Washed over with the noise, like getting washed in a bath, sound bath. So I'll lead with the breath. Get yourself, everyone else that's there, nice and chill, we'll give it a good welly, to be honest. We'll give it a good blast.
A few rounds of Wim Hof.
Give it a good welly, and then Darren's going to come in, and he is an absolute wizard on the gong. Had to think about it.
on the
gongs and on the tunes. He is.
It is so real. Like I've got a glimmer of it before. I think we were talking before we got going. Went to an event that Robert Sheen was running off the back of his book. He had a book at the time, but Dara Stewie is the guy's name. And he done at the end, and he hit the gong. He hit the gong at the end, man. And I swear to God, I was like, whoa. Went through me, and I was like, "Geez."
You feel like I went to your toes and like travel all the way through your body and go out of you.
Like a crazy experience. And actually, in that book, Robert Sheen talks about, I think he was over in Bali at one stage or Indonesia somewhere, and I think it was bowls that they were doing at the time.
The crystal bowls, yeah.
Crystal bowls,
yeah,
and someone came up to him right in front of him and done that kind of motion of the bowl, and something went through him, and he had this complete release. Like this sound frequencies and the breath work and the psychedelics are all designed to help you heal as a person, and then go on and just do so much more in your life. Because when you're healed from whatever it might be in life, you can do so much more. But if you haven't acknowledged it or addressed it just yet, you're still waiting to heal, and it's kind of holding you back a small bit.
100%. They're different modalities and different tools to just uncover you.
Yeah.
You know, like with let's say Men Rising Together. Okay, it's an organization run by David Patrick Farrell and Patrick Joseph. Okay, I've gone to multiple of their events. Okay, and I've done different modalities. Okay, breath work, let's say plant medicines, psychedelics. I've done different modalities, and I've seen people do these different modalities. At the end of the day, all of these modalities do is they just open up the door for you to actually talk. So what I've come to the conclusion of that the medicine isn't the plant medicine. It just gives you, let's say, it makes you feel safer to open up. Okay, let's say the breath work, it gives you more a relaxed state of mind to open up. The real medicine is talking. Of everything that I've seen, talking about your experience. Because when you put words to it and you actually externalize it and you release it out, you have these realizations about what you've just said and about what you've just gone through. And then you're like, whoa, that's just been in my head the whole time. All this anger, this hate, this fear, that's just been in my head. I haven't actually spoke about it. But when you put words to it, it's like, whoa, I really felt that. Okay. But you're getting rid of it. Any experience, it's talking. Yes, these are fantastic tools to help. If you cannot speak, if you are so reserved within yourself, they are fantastic tools for those people to open up and to speak and to go deeper. But what I've seen, the conversations I've had, the experiences with the 3-day meditation retreats, day retreats that I've gone to, the medicine is talking, always. And it's just absolutely magic when you can actually express yourself and be heard and understood without judgment.
And connect. And connect. Andy Mooney, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for this. It's been an absolute pleasure. Tell me, if anyone is looking to reach out to you, where did they go?
Where did I go? Okay, so breathwork page is breathing without the G at the end, _deadly. And then my Instagram is Andy Mooney 0.
Lovely stuff. You're an absolute gent. Man, I wish you all the best at Bali as well.
Legend, brother.
You're going to make it happen. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Boom!
And that's a wrap.
Oh, that was good going, bro. Man, that was a class conversation. That was savage, man.
You up, brother?
Yeah,
man, I fucking love that.
Is the mad how locked in you getting this?
Man, you just get, it's just like, yeah.
There's nothing else.